she'd be happy to answer them. So Judy, welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity to meet with you and introduce myself and share a little bit about the strategic planning process. Strategic planning is so exciting, and I am looking forward to partnering with the team and with the district. And as Dr. Cascone shared, I will give you a little overview of my background and my experiences and a little bit of an introduction into strategic planning during tonight's meeting. So a little bit about myself. I am an associate with PLC, and I've been with the company for a little over 2 years. Prior to joining PLC, I was a New York State public school teacher and administrator for 35 years. I began my career as a high school special education teacher, and administratively, I was an assistant principal, a high school principal, director of special education, and the last 20 years of my career, I served as assistant superintendent for pupil personnel services. Prior to retiring, I had the opportunity to work with PLC in a district leadership capacity. We partnered for 6 years. Our district was focused on continuous school improvement and really specifically high levels of learning for all students. And our experience and our partnership was very positive and valuable. And so now to be part of PLC and have the opportunity to continue to work in schools with educators and students is truly amazing. I am very, very grateful for the career that I had and very grateful to be able to continue to work on behalf of students. As Dr. Cascone said, we are going to begin early February. So I will be on site the first day, I believe, is February 2nd. We'll work over the next 4 to 5 months in developing a strategic plan that is both intentional and actionable. The plan is going to be grounded in your strengths with actions that bring your schools and your district to the desired states that you identify. Throughout the process, we will affirm the district's strengths and successes and identify opportunities for future focus and planning. Strategic planning as a whole has 2 main groups that operate sometimes, singularly and sometimes collaboratively. There's a core team that is charged with working on the mission, the vision, the shared beliefs, and identifying and drafting strategic intents. Strategic intents are then turned over to task force groups, and the task force groups are charged with conducting research and benchmarking and creating action plans that will move the schools and districts to the desired state within the 5 years of the plan. In addition to the working teams, there will be many opportunities for stakeholder input. That will be gathered through focus groups and also through a comprehensive survey, the PLC Data Triangle Survey. That I believe is going to be launched for the month of February. And the Data Triangle Survey gathers input and experiences from students, from faculty, staff, administrators, and parents and caregivers. And I also believe that there will be a focus group with the Board of Education or a subset of the Board of Education in the relatively near future. Certainly your experiences and insight as board members and leaders will be important guiding information. Throughout the process, Dr. Cascone and team members will provide you with progress reports and updates. Our hope is that a plan will be presented to you as the Board of Education for review and consideration in June or July, which is a wonderful opportunity to allow for summer planning, any professional learning, so that the launch can be set for September. I will actually, that is really kind of a quick overview and big picture. I'll take a pause and see if Dr. Cascone has anything that he would like to add. And certainly if there are any questions that I can answer, I'm happy to do so.
Thank you, Judy. Just one thing I want to clarify, because relative to the student surveys, we are surveying only students grades 6 through 12. The parent survey will launch prior to the student survey, and the survey will be shared with the parent community. The questions will be shared with the parent community in advance of its distribution to the students. And I've looked at the student survey. From my perspective, it's pretty innocuous, but I don't want to be presumptuous in that regard. So parents will have an opportunity to review that in advance. And if they chose to not have their child participate in the survey, they could communicate that to the principal. So I just wanted to clarify that, because I know that that's been a point of importance for members of our community. That's all.
Any other board questions? I'm sure we're going to have a bunch over the next few months.
Okay.
I see none. I do have a question for you, Judy. You talked about task force groups and focus groups. I guess obviously we get details down the road a little bit, but I was just thinking, like, who does that? Who puts that together? Is that something the administration does? Is that something you do in concert with them? Yeah, and then what's the difference between task force groups and focus groups?
Great question. Thank you. Yes, the task force groups are put together by the administrative team in conjunction with myself. And the difference between the two teams, with the core team, really is focused on reviewing your mission, vision, shared beliefs, and refining or revising those as needed, and drafting the strategic intents. Then the task force are actually work groups, one work group per strategic intent, and each work group will conduct research and recommend an action plan for each year with progress monitoring that will move the district toward the desired state of each strategic intent, each goal area.
Thank you. Last call. Any other questions?
Can I make a comment?
Yes, absolutely. Kim?
I just think that somehow we lucked out to have someone, it seems, with a vast background in a lot of areas that over the years have been an issue. So it's somehow we lucked out. You seem to have a great background. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you very much. I am super excited to be working with Holmdel.
Thank you, Judy. Wish you a good evening and look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you as well. Good night.